everyone, thank you for tuning in. I am your instructor Joy. Today in this video we're going to talk about sound production, more specifically contact point or sounding point. They're all correct terms. This video is actually an answer to a subscriber. This Valis heard about sounding point or contact point with different numbers and was wondering what those are and how one could understand. Very good question. Thank you very much for kind questions, comments, sending me donations here and also in my Patreon page, booking lessons with me. I really appreciate. I know you guys been sending me lots of questions and I'll do my best to answer all your questions, but sometimes when the number gets really large, it's a little hard to address all the questions, but I'll try my best to answer as many questions as possible. So let's first understand what sounding point or contact point is. So let's start with a contact point. Contact point is where the bow hair touches or where bow hair contacts on the string. So now whenever the bow sits, that's the contact point. That can be closer to the fingerboard, that can be in the middle in between fingerboard and the bridge, or really closer to the bridge. So those are our different contact points. Now when we call it sounding point, some people use it a little more vaguely, but most of us, when we say sounding point, we mean the point or the contact point where the sounds the best. So let's say the sounding point, the ideal point where the sound is the best for each string is not the same. For G string, rather closer to the fingerboard, D a little away from the fingerboard, A a little closer to the bridge, E quite closer to the bridge. So the sounding point for each string is a bit different, so you have to keep that in mind. Now, but sometimes it's a little hard to address where contact point is. Sometimes we're told bring bow closer to the bridge, or bring the bow away from the bridge, or closer to the fingerboard, and that's what this numbered contact point comes very handy. So I have to admit I haven't heard this term much in Europe, but here in North America, especially in the States, it's been used widely. So it's a very good idea actually. So contact point 1, it goes from contact point 1 to contact point 5. Contact point 1 is the one that's closest to the bridge. Contact point 5 being the closest to the fingerboard. So it would be right at the edge of the fingerboard, yeah? So that means contact point 3 would be exactly in between the bridge and the fingerboards. Again, contact point 1, now 2, 3 exactly in the middle, 4, and 5. Okay, so now then, why do we have to understand that? So when it comes to sound production, there are 3 things that plays important roles: bow speed, bow weight, and contact point. Let's say we want to produce a forte sound, loud sound, and we know vaguely how to make loud sound, just putting more weight. But you have to understand, even if I put a lot of weight, if I place the wrong contact point, for example, if I want to play forte sound on the E string, an open E string, the ideal contact point would be contact point 1. But if I accidentally place it in contact point 5, this is how it would sound. I am exaggerating a bit to make a point. Of course, you don't do that. But just so that you know, I'm applying same bow weight, same bow speed, but just different contact point versus first contact point 1 versus then contact point 5. And that's one of the reasons sometimes we get squeaky, unwanted squeaky sound. So it's important for us to know how to place the bow in the right contact point. Another thing to understand, of course it goes the same way when you have a lighter bow. Again, you have to find different contact point. That's more topic into depth, and I'll make another video about that one if you guys want. And even within the same string, let's say the ideal contact point or the sounding point, which is the ideal contact point for G string, would be contact point 4 or 5. Yeah, I'm placing rather on 4. But if I'm playing higher position, So let's say if I'm playing really high G, then the same ideal sounding point, the contact point does not work anymore because the vibrating string got much shorter. From here to much shorter, I'm stopping the vibrating string. So you have to adjust the contact point by bringing contact point closer to the bridge. So the idea, even though the ideal contact point for G string is contact point 4, now I have to move my bow to contact point 3 or even 2. Sorry. If I want to play loud, like that. Just to show you some examples of knowing where to place your bow on the right contact point. Yeah. So this is one of those you have to just put your repertoire away and then really experiment with a different bow speed, bow weight, and contact point, and find it until you're really, really happy. So it can be a simple note, just play in different spots. And that may be too much, and then move it a little way. And it is really worth to just take 5-7 minutes just to find the ideal sounding contact point for your wonderful playing. Yeah, I hope this video was helpful. Thank you for watching and hope to see you again. Bye bye.